I get the question all the time that can I create content where I don't have to appear on video? And I always say, absolutely, you can definitely create content that doesn't require you to be on video. But if you are a coach or consultant, as much as you can, you probably should be on video because you are trying to sell your products and services. And so today on this episode of the Kenya Kelly podcast, we're going to talk about why you should have your face and all that in your videos. Welcome back to another episode of the Kenya Kelly podcast. Today we're talking all about video marketing and whether you should be showing up on video, your face on video. So I already know that for my introverts that are here, you're like, oh God, I already know what you're gonna say before I ever press play on this podcast episode or on YouTube. And I will say this to you introverts. I get it. Even though I have a big, boisterous personality, that is just a personality. That doesn't mean that I'm like always super confident or was always confident. That doesn't mean that I don't have fear or whatever. That doesn't mean that the first time that I thought about getting on video or the first 100 times that I didn't have fear about it or hesitancy or whatever about it. I did, right? So I am just like you. The difference maybe between you and I is that I've been showing up on video scared and whatever since 2016, okay? So like we're like in 2023 for 7 years, all right? So you're seeing and hearing me today, but you may not have experienced me back then. So let's just kind of unpack this, okay? So 2 parts of this is we're talking about like the fear of getting on video, right? And then the second part is we're talking about you trying to sell your services, right? So if you sell a physical product, it's one thing. But if you're selling services, your coach, consultant, courses, or whatever, a whole different thing. But let's get into the first part. So when I think about, a person who is thinking about getting on video and is afraid to get on video or hesitant to get on video, one of the things that I always ask my clients to do, and I ask myself when I don't want to do a thing, is what am I actually feeling? What are all the feelings that I'm having, right? And when I ask my clients that, one of the things is that I'm just not photogenic. I just don't look good on video, right? And so I say, okay, is it that you're not photogenic? Is it that you're not look good on video? Is it about how you feel about yourself? And I'm like, that's like a sensitive question to ask, but I have to ask it, especially because they paid for me to coach them. And it's definitely how they feel about themselves, how they see themselves, their face, their teeth, their hair, their body, all these different things. And the truth is, I get it. Like if a person doesn't necessarily like how they sound, then it's hard for them to want to put their voice on a thing, right? Like I used to hate the sound of my voice, like, oh my God. And I really used to hate the sound of my laugh. I mean, I just god awful, you know what I mean? And so the last thing I wanted to do was do something where you had to hear my voice, right? Let alone see my face, right? Then I had big self-esteem problems about how I felt about how I looked, because I have brown skin, big eyes, bold, and like big lips, my nose, whatever, right? Just all these different things, my body size, whatever, based upon what has happened in childhood, life, growing up, you know what I mean? And so I just did not like a lot of those things, right? Now, one thing I did love my whole life, one thing I did love after I had braces the first time was my teeth. Oh, let's go with the teeth, right? But then once I had a tooth removed and my teeth started to move, oh my God, I was like Chewbacca. I mean, it was just awful for me, right? It may not have been to you, but it definitely was for me. You know what I mean? And the last thing I wanted to do was showcase all that. Showcase my lips, my voice, my teeth, all of that stuff. I just did not want to do that. And I know that you're listening to me and you're like, I can relate. I know you can, which is why I'm outing myself to you. So I'm just like you. And I had like a lot of different moments. It wasn't like 1 month, 2 months. It was like long periods of time where I had to just be like, I cannot change my nose. I mean, I can have a nose job, but that change it to what? You know, I couldn't change my eyes and my skin color and the size of my lips. I couldn't change my voice. I couldn't change how I just couldn't change these things. And I started to like realize that I hated myself. And I know that sounds really harsh when I say it out loud, but just listen, like I did not like the sound of my voice, my lips, my skin, my teeth, my eyes, my all that. It's like I hated myself. I wanted to be somebody else. I wanted to look and sound like somebody else, right? And I was having these things where I was like, where did this come from? Where did it come from that I feel like I have to be something or somebody else in order to love me? It was a very, very, very painful, hard pill to swallow. But I was like, Kenya, you're going to be here with yourself for the next 40, 50, 60 years. So you got to go on a journey, right? You got to go on a journey of like self-discovery again, because there's something happening there. And it was hard. You know, it was about childhood, about not receiving love, whatever. It was about, living in a space where I had a big butt, big hips and all that. And that was not popular, not on TV, all that stuff, And so I just had to go on this like extended journey to like learn to appreciate and love me as I am, how I am. You know what I mean? I still have my moments where I'm like my big old booty, you know what I mean? Or whatever, I still have all those moments or whatever, but they are like few and far between because I've just been on this journey of like self-acceptance. And so now when I get myself on video, I don't really critique myself the way that I used to. I don't really look at my face, my teeth, my voice. I just kind of like, I don't feel anything. The only time that I feel something is when I'm doing full body, because right now I have like a bunch of fibroids in my stomach. I'm getting ready to have surgery and have them removed. So they make me look like 4, 5, 6 months pregnant or whatever. So that's the only time. But I'm like, I got to a point to where I'm like, I'm still showing up on video even with the stomach because I had to go on this journey. So that's the first thing, is it's really important for you to find out why you feel how you feel, okay? Now, as it pertains to you showing up on video as a business coach, consultant, or whatever, you have to show up on video, okay? Because here's the deal. So let's just say you are a interior designer or whatever, and a person is going to hire you, right? They're going to hire you to come into their house and all that. And as much as you would think that like they just want to see before and afters of places, it's like, yeah, but they are still going to see you. You're going to be the one that's going to be hired. They're going to talk to you and pay you and consult with you, and you're going to be the one that's in their house, right? Like as a marketing consultant, like people want to get to know me, right? Because people buy from people that they like, know, and trust. And so as a consultant, they have to see me to even like me, to even get to know me, to even begin to trust me. And so the video marketing is one of the easiest, fastest ways to speed up the like, know, and trust factor, because people get to experience you, And the one thing that I will say is that like, if you're someone and you're introverted and you're like, but it's just really important to know that technically it's just you and a camera. So like right now, while I'm filming this audio and video, it is me in a bedroom that I turned into an office. My ring lights are on. My camera is pointed at me. There's a mic and there's nobody here. It's just my cats, right? So there's nobody here, right? So when I create video, there is nobody here. Now it's just me putting it out there. The only time people are actually there is when it's live, right? And so if you're somebody, you're like, ain't no way I'm going live, then that's okay. You do want to show up in regular video because one, it's the thing that's working the most right now, especially if you're using social media marketing. Two, it speeds up the like, know, and trust factor. It just speeds it up so much faster, And then three, it allows for free advertising. You know, when you put yourself out there on these different platforms and you run ads, it allows you to just be able to just reach people you normally could not have reached. You know, I get so many opportunities, and not because people saw, well, somebody they saw me in person, but mostly because they've seen me online. And it's because I'm showing up on video. But this is practice. This is, you know, it's a process. It's not like I was just like this overnight. You know what I mean? Like, I know if you're hearing me and you're seeing me today, it may seem like I've been always doing this, but this is not an overnight journey. This has been quite some time. You know, like if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a photo behind me of me talking to 12,000 people on stage at a conference when I was like 22. Now, I cried when I got off stage because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. You know what I mean? And it's been a journey when I did not want to get up in front of a room. I did not want to speak and teach. All the things, you know what I mean? But the easiest way for me to reach you, the easiest way for me to help you is if I use video. And one of the easiest ways you can reach people is on video. You know, I was on prayer team one day, and a young lady came up to me wanting prayer, and she really wants to like reach the masses and da-da-da-da, young lady. And I'll say, you know, I heard God say she needs to be on social media creating content. And I told her, and she was just like, no, I don't want to do that. She's going on. And I was like, why? And she was just like, she only spends like maybe 5 minutes a day on social media. And I'm like, well, but you say you want to impact people that need Jesus, right? And she goes, yeah. And I'm like, well, who needs Jesus? Like, not the people at church. They're already coming to church, right? And she said, yeah. And I'm like, doesn't it make sense to go to the place where they are spending their time and like creating content? And she was like, you know, and I feel like some of that had to do with, not want to be on social media or her beliefs about social media, but I believe some of it was about confidence, you know, about creating content and actually being on video, because a lot of people deal with that. But what I will say is that you do need to be on video. If you're going to be some type of coach, consultant, and things of that nature, you do want to be on video. An encourager or whatever, you do need to be on video. But one of the easiest things that you can do to kind of get started on video is, sorry YouTube, I'm picking with my eye, but to get started on video is just start recording videos at home. Even before you ever post them, just start recording them and getting comfortable like speaking into a camera and then rewatching yourself, right? And then just continue doing that for like a couple days, maybe a week or so, and then start to post them. You know, and you're going to get better over time. Nobody is good when they first start. Nobody is good when they first start. Anybody that says that they are lying. I mean, none of us went to school for this. Well, maybe people today went to school for this, but most people did not go to school, you know, for this. And we're all learning and trying to do this thing. You know what I mean? And so I really want you to try this. I want you to practice this. Now, what I also will say to you is that I would love to coach you. So if you have a business and you or want to start a business and you want to get on video and you need coaching, I would love to coach you. You know, my course called Vertical Video Mastery, it officially opens on Thursday, but you're hearing this on Tuesday. And I want to invite you to it. It's where I'm teaching how to use TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts to market your products and services. We're going to talk a lot about confidence, talk a lot about video, filming, and all this type of stuff. I want you to join me. There's a link in the show notes, but you can also go to verticalvideomastery.com. That is verticalvideomastery.com. And I want you to join us. The doors will be open on Thursday, but you're listening on Tuesday, so you'll get early access to it. But I want to coach you. And if you want me to coach you, then I think it's going to be great together. Okay. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have questions, feel free to ask me here on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Those of you guys listening on a podcast, please write a review. I never know what you guys are thinking because you guys aren't saying anything to me. But if you want to come and follow us on YouTube as well, that would be great at Key and Kelly. And so thank you guys so much for listening and watching.